Yo, pod! This is Meat Mitch, and you're listening to the BBQ Central Show.
Start the game! Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Well, do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Welcome to the really big BBQ Central Show. This is a show where we talk about all things important to the world of barbecue and grilling, originating from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio, the barbecue capital of the North Coast, and the social distancing capital of the world. That's right. Happy to tell you that. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you. If you want to jump in on the show tonight, I'm ready to take your phone calls and ready to read your emails. Here's how you do it.
You can get in touch with the show by calling 216-220-0966. Email Greg at the BBQCentralShow.com. On the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening in case you didn't get the newsletter. By the way, sign up for the newsletter at the main website right there towards the top right. Just drop in an email address, hit subscribe, and that's all you need to do. We don't blast you with spam and all this other crap every once in a while. Typically, it's once a week, Tuesday around noon. It comes out, let you know what's going to be happening on the show later. Now, if there's bonus content like I had been putting out the past 3 days, which I'll get into here in a second, I did send out a newsletter yesterday alerting folks to that. Or if there's an exceptionally special deal that one of the sponsors is giving up for the Centralites, I will send out a newsletter for that. Otherwise, it's just once a week by and large. So you can sign up and get the heads up on what's coming up later that night on the live show. So here's what's happening. In about 13 minutes from now, we'll be joined by the owner of Fireboard, one of my favorite automatic remote temperature measuring devices. This is what I'm trying to say. Great user interface. Hook it up on your phone. You can use it via Bluetooth, but I would say hook it up to your local area network. You can put 6 different probes of varying kinds on this. You could also put a fan into if you wanted. It is Ted Conrad making his return to the show. Now, Ted went to the HPBA Expo a couple weeks ago, which was probably the last exposition that even took place in the country. John Solberg from Michigan, in his day job, books people into car shows. They were canceling like mad. Somehow, the Hearth Patio and Barbecue Exposition took place in New Orleans, but that had to have been it. Everything after that canceled for sure. So we'll talk to Ted about how the show went and some new things that he has going on as far as Fireboard is concerned. Then coming up at 9:35, it is the fourth Tuesday of the month. Regular guest in the first hour, Derrick Riches from DerrickRiches.com. He was also attending HPBA, so we'll get a different perspective from Derrick as he is our in-the-stable journalist, a respected member of the live fire journalism community. And again, you can read him at DerrickRiches.com. We'll also talk about some cool products that he might have seen at the exposition and some wacky products that he saw at that expo. So great to wrap up the first hour with Derrick. Then we'll move to the second hour. And folks, oh my God, what can I tell you? The fourth Tuesday of the month in the second hour is a refiring of the embedded correspondence. And this is one like any other. Holy moly. I'm telling you right now, hold on to your straps, because while we will talk a little bit of coronavirus, while we will talk a little bit of embedded correspondence leaving the dais, the balance of the second hour indeed will focus on one thing and one thing alone. That is the beginning of American Idol BBQ Central Show edition, where myself, John Solberg, Doug Scheiding, Jeff Rice will all be taking our hand at singing the smash late 70s, perhaps early 80s hit by supergroup Thin Lizzy, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominated Thin Lizzy, I might add. And you'll have the opportunity to hear us. I'll explain all the rules and all that stuff as we get into the second hour. But just know the second hour you've turned in for something special. In fact, you might want to tune out for the first hour and tune back in with popcorn, because it's going to be better than any damn television that you've seen in recent memory. That's what's happening on the show tonight. Don't forget, you can follow me socially at BBQ Central Show on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok. You can also go /BBQ Central Show on the Facebooks. You can also get a live video feed there. I would like to welcome everybody at Dead Broke Barbecue for watching on Ricer's channel. I believe that we have successfully streamed out there as well. Now, I'm not monitoring the chat, so I apologize. I'm monitoring it on my own YouTube page, but Jeff gave me permission to stream out to his platform as well, so happy to have all the bar flies that are in there checking us out, the Dead Broke fans, happy to have you, and you'll see your guy in about an hour's time from now. So another week has passed, and depending on where you are in the country, this is the second week or so of coronavirus 2020, and many states are starting to mandate that you stay in place, in your house. Nothing more than whatever your state is considering to be essential needs travel is allowed. Going to the grocery store, prescription, doctor, hospital. Other than that, they want you to stay inside. So do that. That's the easiest way to continue to not spread this virus, or as the hot button phrase is, to flatten the curve, because nobody's around each other. If you're not around each other, it's got no way to spread. You do it for such and such period of time, and inevitably things will just flatten out. We won't have to worry about the surge like is going on now. And of course, New York being the epicenter of all of this right now, I think they have more than, half the cases that are out there in the country right now, or 3/4. It was some ridiculous percentage, but it's all in New York and then sporadically around some other hotbed areas out there, I think in the West Coast. But Ohio has been officially shuttered in place, stay at home, and a lot of states are following suit with that. So in these troubled times, I have offered up not one, not four, but 3 new bonus podcasts for you that are currently in the podcast feed. So if you aren't subscribed to the show that way, go ahead and do it. If you just go to the main website, up at the top right, there's a button that says subscribe, and you can figure out how you want to subscribe to the show's podcast feed. Then enjoy shows featuring the likes of restaurant and food critic and New York City expert Nick Solaris. First Tuesday of the month, special guest Sam the Cooking Guy, who will be on next week, by the way, live in his normal appearance. And Sean Walchef from Cali Comfort Barbecue, all talking about the virus, of course, but we're also talking about personal actions that we're all taking to be diligent and safe patrons and citizens of this country in order to not spread this thing around. But each one of us also gives their account, or each one of them also gives their account of the restaurant industry, and perhaps more importantly, how it might all look once we get on the other side of this virus. And needless to say, all 3 have very realistic and some of them rather grim outlooks. But how could you not? And as Stover had said in my most recent bonus content release with Cali Comfort Barbecue, it's not just the restaurants. It's the small independent businesses, the ones that are selling handmade jewelry or mail-only products, or just the very small businesses that make up your downtown area or your business district. What kind of a outlook do they have a month from now or 2 months from now? Now, the mindset over the course of these 3 bonus episodes was that perhaps 65 to 75% of restaurants could be wiped off the map. I mean, can you imagine that 60, 65, 70, 75% of restaurants that are in your town right now gone. Can you believe that? Now, aside from the grim stuff or the realistic talk, there are also some funny moments in there as well. Like when Sam admonishes me for not knowing or having a truly bad grasp on Mexican food knowledge. I think I asked him what the difference between enchilada and a burrito was, or a fajita. Well, I don't know. I forget exactly what it was. One of them you put in the oven. So it's not all doom and gloom. There is a lot of real talk in there, but absolutely some funny moments too. So if you're not subscribed to the podcast, let me encourage you to do that, because that way you never miss one of these here shows, but then you never miss any bonus content. You never know when bonus content is coming out. And we all have a little more time to relax and do our social distancing, so why not do it with a little bit more barbecue content that I've offered up for you for the ripe old bottom bargain basement price of $0. From me to you, enjoy it while you have some time off. Ted Conrad coming up out of the break. I'll talk to you quickly about Big Papa Smokers, the one-stop online shop for all things barbecue. A curated selection of only the best outdoor cooking and grilling supplies. Get you on the path to better barbecue results in no time. They have 13 perfectly balanced rubs, right? Making extraordinary meals all the time. If you would like to add a little bit more change up in that arsenal, you can also visit Simply Marvelous Barbecue, owned by Steph Franklin. When you put Big Papa's and Steph Franklin together, now you've whipped up a little thing called the West Coast Offense. And we know barbecue teams across the country are winning with West Coast Offense when they're competing. Not right now. But you can do it in the backyard as well. There's some great rubs. They also own Granny's barbecue sauce, so if you're tired of what's currently out there, you want to change up the game a little bit, or have a good base sauce that you can start messing around with, you got to give Granny's a try. And they're also selling cookers. You know it. If you're looking for a easy to use, check out the Mac 2-Star General Pellet Grill, one of the premier pellet cookers on the market. Big Papa's the exclusive Mac dealer. Even offer specialing packages. Nobody else is doing that. Not a fan of pellet smokers? All right. Take a look at the Old Hickory HPBA, only charcoal smoker the Big Papa trusts on his competition trailer. Now, if you're not sure of what grill you need, call them, for crying out loud. 877-828-0727. 877-828-0727. And mention the BBQ Central Show. You never know what they might throw in just for free because you told them you found them out here on this show. Peruse their website, why don't you? BigPapaSmokers.com. That's BigPapaSmokers.com. BIGPOPPA. Smokers.com. And we wish Sterling Ball and the gang over at Big Papa's a well wish, hoping everybody's doing out there, doing well, keeping their social distance. We're back with Ted Conrad from Fireboard right after this. Stick around.
Broadcasting live from the BBQ Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Butcher's Barbecue, makers of award-winning injections, marinades, rubs, seasonings, barbecue sauces, grilling oils. All of Butcher Barbecue products tested on the competition circuit as well as backyards worldwide. Be the pitmaster of your neighborhood. Visit butcherbbq.com to stock up now. Always trust your butcher. All right, joining me now, a person who is in the leading role of remote thermometer sector with the Fireboard product, which is an absolutely incredible tool. Especially if you love tech and you love to monitor multiple items from one source, whether that be a computer or your smart device. A few weeks ago, the HPBA was held in New Orleans. Here from recap and some product updates. Friend of the show, Ted Conrad. Hey, Ted.
Hey, Greg, how are you doing?
Absolutely fabulous. Appreciate you making time for the show tonight. And we have some HPPA stuff to talk about. But before we get into that, I wanted to do a quick follow-up because I think it was last April that you were on, and you were in conjunction with Joe from Yoder making an announcement how you guys were, partnering on a cooker. You guys were doing more of the thermometering and remoting of temperature. So is there any new update, or how is that going as far as partnership?
Yeah, it's going actually pretty well. They're just over a year into basically selling that new series of the controller, and all the feedback has been positive. People love the integration. People love the Fireboard side of it. Of course, Yoder makes an outstanding product to begin with. They didn't change the actual units themselves. They improved, I think, the igniter, and there were some other things they tweaked, if you will. But yeah, everything's going great. So people are cooking at home more, I guess, and so we'll see how that goes.
All right, so let's talk about the Hearth Patio and Barbecue Expo. It's funny because I was saying in the open that I have a lot of friends that are in trade show businesses, and they were telling me right around that same time, everything is closing down. My Michigan correspondent does a lot of car show stuff or auto shows, and one after the next was just getting, bumped every hour. There was a new one that was either bumping out a number of months or was just canceling altogether. But HPBA continued on there. So talk to me a little bit about the exposition itself and how it went for Fireboard as a company.
Yeah, we kind of went down there. We didn't know what to expect. It was kind of like an hour by hour thing. And they were, like you said, we were right in the midst of like where everything was getting canceled. And we didn't know, how it was going to turn out, even if they didn't cancel it, because other vendors and whatnot were pulling out right and left. So I felt bad for the lady that runs it. I mean, she's so nice, but I can only imagine, like every person that called, it's like, hey, we're not coming. She was just pulling her hair out. So, but she did a great job. I mean, honestly, she did a good job. And I would say it was a little surprising, but I thought the conference was really good. We had really good conversations. We had a lot of conversations with other vendors and other manufacturers, and those were really positive. I mean, everybody is still wanting to push wireless technology. So I think that was a good show for us.
Was there a noticeable downturn in physical attendance, would you say?
Well, this is our second year doing it. Last year was in Dallas, and people kind of said last year the attendance was down a little bit. And I would say, I don't know if New Orleans is maybe it draws more people. I don't know, but I felt like it was probably just as much as last year, maybe a little bit down. But honestly, it was a pretty good show.
All right, so cool items as you're walking around. I don't know if you were just stationed at the booth, all your time there, but if you guys are platooning on and off, cool items that you might have seen as you were walking around from some of the other exhibitors.
Yeah, well, it's fascinating because I'm not a huge fireplace guy. Obviously, I love the grilling side, but there's tons of fire. There's some crazy stuff where you can see through, and there's fire hovering, in the middle of the two glass plates. There's a really cool new, I guess you'd call it I guess it's kind of a pellet grill, but it was like a hybrid gas and pellet. And I'm losing the name right now, but I think it's like a Canadian company. Anyway, so it was a pretty fascinating product, kind of see what they've come up with. There's some pretty neat, just high-end, built-in gas grills that you see there for these really cool outdoor kitchens. So I always kind of like looking at some of that stuff. We spent, about 90%. So it was a good show.
Good. We're talking with Ted Conrad from Fireboard. Fireboard.com is the website if you want to check it out here while we're chatting. Were there anything that you saw that you didn't expect that kind of blew the mind that some of the exhibitors walked out?
Well, I'm trying to think if there's some pretty neat outdoor. I kind of love these little outdoor fire pits, and there was a really cool one. I don't know if I can even find a picture maybe to show you what they were doing. But it's basically a fire pit, but you could also grill on it. And let's see if I can pull it up here for you guys. But it was a really cool thing. So there's the indoor area, and then there's the outdoor area, and everybody is cooking and smoking out there and grilling and stuff, which is pretty cool.
Are they sampling out there as well, or are they just showing you how they cook? Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, they're so this is maybe a picture. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's
oh yeah, that looks like an art flame.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty fascinating. That was a pretty neat deal. So
well, so I happen to have now I don't know if that's an art flame. I know there's a couple other manufacturers of those styles of grill. I think the common term is plancha, but I think Olafur makes one. Art flame, I think, was the original. I have a classic 40-inch art flame on my back patio, and it is certainly a conversation piece when you have it placed in the right part of the patio. People just inherently collect around it, and then you fire it up. You have a live fire in the middle of it. It's basically a big cast iron pan where 4 or 5 or 6 people can get around it, and they're cooking whatever you want, and you can cook whatever you want. When we fire it up, we do breakfast in the morning, we'll keep it going, we'll do lunch, and then we'll keep it going, and we'll do dinner. Neighbors are coming over, neighbor Desmond and his family, so it's a big all-day project. The only thing I don't like about it, and this is probably something that you would want to consider if you're going to get into that kind of a purchase, is A, it's not very fuel efficient. There's no way to really control how much air is getting on the fire, so it's just burning like crazy. So if you have a lot of wood, you go through a lot of wood. I've switched over to charcoal, but it's a 20 to 40 pound commitment every time you're going to keep it going.
Wow.
And then, it does take a considerable amount of time to get cool, so you can cover it back up because it's just this big, thick steel piece that is grabbing that heat. So, but I mean, from a conversation piece, it can double as a fire pit, I guess, if you wanted to. It's a pretty cool piece. So, that's a really good setting for that kind of a piece. Everybody can get around it. You can see it working, easy to do, right?
Yep. Last year is kind of cool. There was a company, I think it's called UK Fire Pits. Obviously, really nice fire pits made it, over in England. But I actually made a deal with them to buy one wholesale just off the floor, brought it home, and there it sits on our patio today. So yeah, you can find some cool stuff.
From a show's perspective, and I'm always interested in getting people's opinion on this, when I was in a different part of the trucking industry, we used to have this thing every year in Louisville called the Mid-American Truck Show, and it was the exhibits for all of the major truck manufacturers and anybody that have anything ancillary to do with trucking. But by the time we were getting out of it, attendance might have been dwindling a little bit, and there was huge talk every year of, do we have to go, or are we going to keep our name there? Is it a necessary evil versus something that we're looking forward to do each year? How do you guys find this kind of a setting? Because it's not just outdoor live fire stuff. There is a bigger section that is hearth and patio stuff versus just the barbecue stuff. So is it still exciting and a want to do, or do you also feel that there is a need because competing products might be out there, and if you're not there, you're not in front of a face?
I don't know that we felt like the competing products were there. I mean, several of the competitors were there. I think the most interesting thing, we honestly didn't really know what to think going into it, because obviously this is our second year. So don't have a ton of experience with trade show stuff. But the most interesting conversations, like I said, were these other manufacturers, and either comparing notes with them, or they were asking us questions on the technology side, potential integrations, stuff like that. So those are, even if one or two of those deals were to happen, those are great constructive conversations. That was a lot of fun, to be honest.
So let's talk about Fireboard itself, the product. There's a new update. I just got an email for it hours before we went online here. So tell us a little bit. I guess give us a quick thumbnail sketch of the Fireboard itself for the folks that don't know, and then we can talk about the new update that just rolled out.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I got to give a shout out to Steven. He's my business partner, and he's done an amazing job with the app. He does the iOS app and the Android app and maintains that. So we rolled this new feature out, and people have asked for this for quite a while, and it's not on one hand, people may see it and think, oh, it's just another little feature, but it's a pretty extensive deal what we've done. So we've added the ability to add notes and photos along your session graph. And so you can actually, we have a lot of people making notes as they're cooking. We have a little text box basically where you can make notes in your session. Well, now you can actually put little dots along your timeline. You say, hey, look, I took it off here. Maybe I wrapped it, or maybe I opened the lid here. I adjusted the vent. All those little things, and they're just little dots. You can click them, and it shows your note. And the photo thing is so much fun. People love taking pictures, so it creates this really cool collage, and that can be shared out. So we're hoping people share this and have fun with it. And it's going to be cool to see how it goes.
So you can basically start with a raw picture of a pork butt, and then take another picture 3 hours in, take another picture before it goes in the wrap, take another picture as it comes out of the wrap, and then take a final pulled sandwich picture and share it all up to your social media, no problem.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, Greg. If you get a chance, it's a cool thing to use. We did a video, so the little email we sent has a video, and we did that last night out on the patio, and we kind of were doing a live cook, did some ribs. You can see this is you can tell here, but this was, people are messaging me because I'm on the show.
That's right.
So you can see those dots, and if you just click one of these dots, there you see the actual photo of what's get this on the right camera here. And then you can go to this view and you can see all the photos together.
Right. Running timeline
so it's
there.
Pretty slick. Yeah. Running timeline. So that's, I think people are going to love that. So anybody can get it on their apps immediately. They can just download it. It's going to be automatically rolled out this week, but they can download it immediately off the App Store.
Do you have to, or can you hook your social media channels into that? So it's just a one touch kind of a posting to wherever you want to send it?
Yep, we have the share button. It's probably the same looking thing, like the share thing, like every other app has. And you can click that, and then it goes to Facebook, Twitter, email, text, and all that stuff.
All right, so that's rolling out, or you can immediately update, as Ted said, if you go get the app. Now, let me ask you from a implementation standpoint. When you roll out something like this, is this a matter of a collection of customer requests? You're getting emails into whatever the email address, or somebody sees you on the street and says, hey, Ted, you really got to think about doing this, or Ted, you got to really think about doing that. So how do you suss out from customer requests or whatever maybe the internal brain trust is thinking? How do you suss it out and decide what makes sense and you should continue to follow up on, and what doesn't make sense and you should just trash it for now?
Well, we spin a wheel, and wherever it lands is what we.
Very high tech. I like it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it really becomes pretty obvious within a matter of like a few months. People start emailing the same thing, and what's funny is it's almost literally word for word the same email, and so you get that over and over again. And this was something high up on that list, and we love it too, right? It makes perfect sense. I think if you're sitting there cooking, you kind of want to remember, since we have all this nice history, and you've got the nice graph, instead of just a little note, you can actually remember, hey, I did this. So it's more like almost a recipe. You can kind of remember and go back and recreate it. And
I guess the better part to just having that recipe, as you mentioned, is the fact that you can also put a visual to that. So not only are you handwriting, the bark was mahogany with a bit of fat sweat on top, you can snap a picture and visually reference that so you know what to look for aside from reading the text.
Yep. And the photo feature is going to be a blast. And this, I think one thing to note is we've really tried hard to make this stuff work as simple as possible. To make it robust. You turn on your app and things just work. Now adding a photo feature is not a trivial thing to do. So we've been testing this for a while. And I should mention too, you buy a Fireboard and you get this nice cloud service for free. So we've been trying to continue to add in all these features as we go.
To the point of continuing to refine before you roll it out to the public, does it vary in regards to the amount of time it takes to go from idea to build to test and then ultimately release out to the public? Or do you find that every time you put in something new, it's taking about the same lifespan before it reaches the public?
This was a little bit more complicated. There's things to do on the UI. The UI development on the mobile apps is incredibly complicated. You've got all these little charting engines, and then it's funny. Like, it's just an example I've used. Apple has their dark mode. Where you can shift your phone into dark mode.
Yep.
And so they mandated a few months ago that you have to rebuild your app so it correctly handles dark mode. That's just an example of all the little things. So you start working on a feature, and you have to stop and go back and fix something that was working before. So it took, gosh, I don't know, probably I think 2 or 3 months on this.
Oh, wow.
Pretty steady work. Yeah.
From a partnership standpoint, we know about the Yoder. You had mentioned at the expo that you were talking with people. Do you find that, or do you speculate that over the next handful of years that grill manufacturers will try and stop doing the shit that they aren't in business to do, being software, being tech, and just focus more on the grill part, and then search out people like yourselves that are tech-driven, that have this experience in doing remote thermometer, temperature taking, and all this stuff? Do you think that that's a better business model?
Yeah, I do. And that conversation, what you just said was exactly what they were just telling us. It's like they're in the business of either manufacturing these grills or these smokers, and they've built out an elaborate supply chain for doing that. They obviously have the capability to produce some really nice quality units like that. But I joke we love barbecue, but we're really a technology company.
Yeah.
We're writing software, we're doing the actual electronics, the hardware development, and that's what our passion is. And I think it comes through in the product. I think people recognize, hey, it does seem to work. And so yeah, the whole thing is, I figure, gosh, if a Fireboard can be everywhere, whether obviously the Yoder partnership is great. I've got a green egg sitting out on the patio. We've got the Primo grill sitting on the patio. The Weber kettle, you can actually hook up the fan. You can actually maintain a really cool, nice fire with the Weber kettle. So it basically works on everything.
You're open to doing, I guess I'm asking for you, for the general manufacturing market, you would be open to doing, let's say, private label stuff as well, if somebody were to approach you and they're going to pay you and do all that stuff, but they want to make sure that, XYZ Grill's name is across the board?
Yeah, we've talked about that too. I think at a minimum, I think what we've said is, hey, look, if there's going to be something like that, we want it to be powered by Fireboard, or we want to have maybe some sort of a co-branding thing like that.
Why is that important?
Well, it's obviously I feel like we're getting our name out there. I think I want to reinforce what the technology is, and it really is Fireboard technology. It can still be potentially maybe it's labeled by that manufacturer, but I think, again, powered by Fireboard, I think just makes sense because it really is.
Looking forward, and I know it's probably not a lot, but do you have any plans into, let's say, mid to end of summer that you guys are going to be promoting or doing for the general public?
Well, we've got some fun stuff this year, to be honest, Greg. So I think everybody should stay tuned. But it's tricky. It's like, here you are looking at what we're looking at, and you're trying to figure out timing wise. There's supply chain complications. Obviously, there's.
Is that affecting you guys right now? Is that affecting you guys?
Yeah, a little bit, yes and no. The slowdown in China, which was kind of happening more in February, that was a little tricky. We had some stuff slow down, but luckily late last year we had stocked up on quite a few components. And I think last time I was on, I think I was maybe showing you the new assembly line. Right. So we're able to do the boards in-house now, and that's been huge. If we were relying on a contract manufacturer in China to do our boards, I think in February or March we would have been up a creek. So, yep.
Keeping it in-house is keeping everybody afloat right now.
Yeah. The other thing, Greg, I was going to mention real fast is, some of these cities and counties have said, hey, essential businesses, and we kind of took a look at it. And, obviously we're here talking about barbecue and whatnot, but there's a pretty good percentage of our business that's also restaurants and grocery stores. The grocery stores use it for cold storage, temperature tracking. We have a lot of breweries that have bought it. Last week we had a big fish farm that bought it. So,
Wow.
Food production. So there's enough of a chunk of business that we fell into that essential business category. So we're still going. We built a bunch of fan drive cable, the boards today, cranked those out, and we're still going. We're still shipping. So we're hoping things obviously calm down here in the next few weeks.
And in the meantime, Fireboard open for business. So check out the website, fireboard.com. And we are talking with Ted Conrad. Ted, always appreciate the time, and great catching up.
Hey, Greg. Thank you so much. Good to talk to you.
You got it. There he is, Ted Conrad from Fireboard. I like that guy right there. He's like, I'm like, how about private label? He's like, did you hear what I said, pal? I said the name is going to be out there. That's what I like. Believer in the product, and you want to make sure that people know that. And I believe he's right. I think Fireboard has come to the forefront of being a leader in this kind of technology, and I think there's a legitimacy gained when people hear that Fireboard's on board with whatever manufacturer. Thanks again to Ted Conrad and the website fireboard.com. Derrick Riches coming up out of the break. I'll talk to you quickly about the Barbecue Guru. Believing that outdoor cooking can be easy and fun. Of course it can be, especially with the Monolith Barbecue Guru Edition grill. The Monolith, the world's first temperature-controlled smoker with a built-in power draft fan. This means smarter control and greater freedom with an automatic temperature controller. Easily choose your cooking time and temperature. Let the Monolith do the work of a sous chef or a barbecue pitmaster. With minimal effort, you now have oven-like precision at the grill, and you can serve the tastiest, juiciest meals each and every time. If you have a Barbecue Guru controller already and you get a Monolith grill, then you don't have to go out and buy a brand new controller. You can if you want. We talked to Bob Trudnak last week. DynaQ and Ultra Q are going to be out here in about 3 or 4 months. You can actually buy now, and then you should see them within a month or so, maybe a little less now. But it's the DynaQ and the Ultra Q, taking place of 2 other models that they'll be retiring out of the product line. If you have any questions, you call them at 800-288-GURU. That's 800-288-GURU, or you can visit the website, bbqguru.com. That's bbqguru.com. Derrick Riches is next. Stick around.
Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the BBQ Central Show.
This portion of the show being brought to you by cookinpellets.com, your number one source for quality wood pellets. For all of your pellet-driven cookers, visit cookinpellets.com for more information or to purchase. You can also visit amazon.com if you would like. Amazon very busy right now. But cookinpellets.com is the main website. There's a podcast there, too, if you want to check it out. Struggling a little bit, if you ask me, but they're trying. They're trying. All right, we are joined by fourth Tuesday of the month. Regular guest and Barbecue Central Show guest Hall of Famer Derrick Riches from DerrickRiches.com. Hey, Derrick.
Hey, Greg. How you doing?
Absolutely fabulous. Appreciate you making your monthly visit here on the Really Big Barbecue Show. So you were also at the Hearth Patio Barbecue Exposition in New Orleans, and I was just talking with Ted Conrad over at Fireboard. Did you run into Ted by chance?
Yeah, I did, as a matter of fact. We talked for a bit.
Anything that he didn't tell me 2 minutes ago?
I don't think so.
Do you think Derrick,
he and I plan to do a follow-up, so
okay,
we can get through a lot.
Do the follow. All right, maybe in a month or two we'll have some insider updates here by no names, please. Do you think it would be, or do you think that manufacturers will start to search out these kind of companies like a Fireboard to say, we're going to focus more on the things we're really good at, making grills or making cookers, and we're not going to try and take the tech in-house as we have been doing here, and instead we would like to partner with a Fireboard or somebody whose strong suit is that and they can integrate together?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of see a bit of that. I mean, Weber teamed up with those one people
iGrill.
do, yeah. Well, they bought them out, but they teamed up with someone else to build apps, and now Napoleon is, but they're not looking at like, you know, the temperature control companies as much as they're looking at app developers, I think, you know, because that's really their weak point. So, I mean, you know, Fireboard's a good choice. It's a great product. I really like it. I have one back there somewhere. And it would be a smart choice in my opinion, but I'm unfortunately, I think a lot of these companies like, you know, who makes really cool apps versus who makes really great technology. And it's a look and feel thing as much as a technology thing, I think, for them.
What do you think about the 2020 version of the Hearth Patio and Barbecue Show?
Well, it was an interesting show.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, it was that. Yeah, I mean, what was it? I flew out Wednesday morning. New Orleans had no cases. Woke up Thursday morning, they had 20.
You were on a flight back home 10 minutes later.
Yeah, I was like really tempted. It's like, do I really want to do this? But you know, they were giving out hand sanitizers when you checked in, and nobody shaking hands, and you could see people struggling with it. I mean, you know, the people that like they try to reach out, but then they pull their hand back. And you know, the show. I think the interesting thing of it is the show literally shut down as it was going. I mean, you know, I started on one end of the floor, moved to the other, and the far end, PK Grills was down there, and I wanted to go by and see those guys. And they had shut down at like 3 o'clock on the first day. They were already packed up. Their stuff was in boxes waiting for the trucking company to come get it.
They were leaving the show, period.
Yeah. Wow. And, you know, they closed the outdoor section on Friday, but people were already kind of shutting down there. And then they came in and announced that Saturday they would close by noon because the Expo Center was shutting. I mean, the convention center in New Orleans was shutting down at that point. So Monday, I think New Orleans said Monday, the entire facility has to be cleaned out. Nobody can be there Monday morning.
Wow. So that was a weird experience.
Right now it's like the last American trade show. So, I mean, just for that, you know, say that, hey, I was the last American trade show for who knows how long.
For the time that you were,
shut down everybody.
For the time that you were there, cool products that you saw.
Well, you know, there was some good things out there. There's a, you know, the problem with this show is there's a lot of people who think they've got a great idea. So there's a number of well, I have a gas grilly sort of thing that also is a deep fryer and a smoker and a wok, and you know, it's like, please stop trying to invent that. I've seen it so many times.
But Derrick, you're the biggest fan of the all-in-one everything. I know this.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I just love, you know, because you want to do everything as poorly as possible.
Right.
And, you know, there was also the guys with their brand new grill light tools. And, you know, we've seen these for years. It's a spatula with a flashlight in it, or it's tongs with a flashlight in it. And it's like, man, is that just a dead patent that anyone can jump in on?
I think that was Steven Reichlin's claim to fame 15 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. And Companion had a set of those with his name on it a million years ago, and I don't know that anyone bought them because, you know, they broke in 6 months. But
and there's like way better grill light options, like the one that Weber makes that goes on the handle that you pick up. I mean, that thing is a beauty. It works. It shuts down when you close the lid.
Yeah.
It gives nice illumination. It's cheap. It's easy to put on for an idiot like me. I mean, it's a winner. Why reinvent the wheel?
Yeah, you know, because people think there's a market. You know, there's always going to be those Father's Day products. It's like, these are the things that sell for a week in June. You know, it's like you know, my favorite one of those was the GrillBot. Remember?
Yes. Do I
little
remember
robotic grill cleaning tool that tore the crap out of your cooking grates and bashed itself all around in your grill for 20 minutes.
And the one that you forgot about with the gas grill on high and you burned the crap out of it?
Right, with rechargeable lithium batteries inside, you know, because that was a smart move.
Yeah, that was the best.
Yeah, that was, but you know, as far as like really good products, I can't say there's anything that jumps out too much. There's a lot of, There's a lot of replication going on.
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about the what's it called, the round thing you have,
the Art Flame.
Yeah, there's now at least a good dozen of those now.
Really?
Yeah, one guy has one that has modules that will go into the hole in the center for smoking and rotisserie cooking and multi-layer, and it's like,
wow.
Yeah, I get that that's not a patentable item, and so anyone can make it, and some will make a really good one, but they do way too much, and they're a problem that way.
But in that regard, is it like everything else that gets replicated? The more replication, the cheaper the price point, which means the cheaper the materials and the quality and so forth?
Well, there's a lot of that. There's either we're going to make it really beautiful and fancy and ornate, or we're going to make it as cheap as possible. And so you kind of get that divergence that always happens with these sort of products. I think that, of the products I saw, I got to see the Masterbuilt Gravity Series 1050.
All right.
So, they came out with the Gravity Series, Masterbuilt last fall. Their electronic temperature controlled charcoal pellet grill like thing. Right. The 1050 is nearly twice the size. Oh, wow. I mean, it has almost twice the capacity on it. I mean, the 560 is nice, but I find it's a little tight. It's a bit of because it's very vertical, and so, but this has a lot of space to it. It's really nice. I mean, for me, this would be the one to get.
Is this the one that was the Vesta Award winner during the show?
Yeah, I think that one won the Vesta Award, nice. Which I never put a lot of stock into because they get fireplace reps to go around and check out all the new products. And so they're just like, ooh, that looks shiny, but this was a good pick. I think that for the new products that were there, it was a good one to go with.
What? I mean, when you're seeing it work, and you had kind of reviewed it yourself, but did the bigger one seem to have a little bit more of a stable temperature control?
It's really hard. I mean, they did not have the big one out running. They had the smaller units cooking, so I wasn't able to see it in operation. I'm hoping that the larger size makes for a more even cooking. My big question is exactly how much charcoal is this thing going to burn through with, twice the volume in the cooking chamber. So, I'm going to have to follow up on that one. They're being vague. It's a spring release, but, I'm not sure how that's going to go now because there's a lot of new products that right now may be postponed for a while. We have supply chain issues, so.
Oh boy. Well, I was going to ask you a question about that here in a minute. But let me ask you, there was another product that you had mentioned to me to bring up, something called the Coyote 36-inch pellet grill, pellet grill.
Yeah, so, last year, Twin Eagles came out with their $7,500 absolutely beautiful pellet grill. I love looking at it. It's just gorgeous, and it's incredibly efficient, and it's an amazing piece of unit, but $7,500. And when I met with the Coyote people, they're like, oh, well, we're going for like a $2,500 price point, but right now I'm only seeing it listed at like $3,500. So I'm not sure where that price point's really going to settle in. A lot of times when you see things on trade shows and stuff, they're really trying to tell you, oh no, this is going to come in real cheap. We're hitting this price point, and then when it actually starts getting out in the world, it didn't turn out that was going to be the case. So I'm going to see on this, but it's a pretty impressive looking unit. It has a lot of what Twin Eagles has with it, a very efficient design. I mean, it's a sealed gasket, similar in many ways, I think, to Memphis. So it's going to give them a run for the money with the Memphis Pro, and because that's a great pellet grill too. If you're looking for an expensive stainless steel.
What about expensive to the names of a Mac 2-star General pellet grill or a Fast Eddie PG-1000?
I think you're really dealing with a different market space with that. I mean, these very attractive looking stainless steel units, I think those appeal to, because they all have a built-in version. These are for outdoor kitchens a lot more. These are for people who are coming more from the kind of grilling side that want a high-performance pellet grill. I think that if you're looking at, Fast Eddie, or you're looking at Mac, or, Yoder, I think you're much more serious on the barbecue side of things. And you're looking for something, they kind of come off a lot more mechanical and in a certain way, kind of a little more hobbyist in a way. I mean, not necessarily Yoder, but, you look at the construction on Mac and you see how it's made. I mean, you sit there and go, oh, might be able to make one of these. Not that I would.
Right.
But, it's a great pellet grill. I mean, I love those.
Derrick Riches is my guest, DerrickRiches.com, the website. From a exhibitor's standpoint, was there anybody like noticeably absent, not necessarily because of coronavirus, but was there anybody that you thought was going to be there that just flatly wasn't going this year that surprised you?
I don't know that there was anyone missing that, from the original list. When we look back at who was going to be exhibiting in February, it looked like pretty much the same crowd, the usual suspects. It's just everyone who pulled out in the last week. That was kind of bothersome. Weber pulled out, Big Green Egg pulled out, Broil King pulled out, and Louisiana Grill's Pit Boss pulled out, which was really, one of the big reasons I was going there, they were doing the final big press reveal of the Founder Series pellet grills that, have been coming for now 9 months or a year. And, but they pulled out at the last minute. They weren't there. But I did actually find someone from Danson's that I could talk to and got a little bit of information. So, they're doing, Pit Boss is doing extraordinarily well, but we'll see how this turns out.
Were they pulling out because of virus-related concerns, or were they just pulling out? Your best guess?
Everyone says it was because, they didn't want to expose their people to the potential. They didn't want to, that is one thing, in particular. You take your entire executive staff and get them sick. Yeah. And this is not good for your business. I think that, I don't think that Weber cared to be there that much. They've always been a mainstay of the show, but now that they're a technology company and not a grill company, I think they're much more interested in going to CES than they are going to HPBA. So, that's their words, not mine. That's what they
those
say.
Are their words. They would rather go to CES than Hearth Patio and Barbecue.
Yeah, they're a technology company now. It's all about technology. So
right,
it gives you a potential. If the economy hadn't collapsed and the stock market wasn't diving, I think that they were on track for an IPO. So
what?
It's time.
Wow. Look at these.
Privately held equity, held by a private equity firm for the last decade.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll see if Weber goes public here at some point once we get on the other side of this virus. You never know.
I think it's going to be, if they're going to do that, it's going to be a year.
Can we draw this conclusion? People will be cooking out more than they have in the past 5 years because of this coronavirus.
I think that's a pretty safe assumption. And there were manufacturers already starting to talk about that. And this is, really before all the, what are we calling it? Lockdowns, quarantine, shelter in place?
Shelter in place. Let's say that.
Okay, that's really good for the generation of children that we have been doing shelter-in-place exercises in their schools because there's an active shooter.
Right.
Because shelter-in-place is hide under your bed. It's not stay inside and play video games.
Right.
It's like, I think we're going to see that. I think about the parallels to 9/11. And there, even though there wasn't a lockdown on the country, people traveled a lot less. Yep. We got this notion of the staycation, and we got this nesting thing that was going on. So we saw really good growth in grill sales, accessories, fuels, all that sort of stuff went up for the following 2 years because people were staying home. They just kind of felt more secure that way. And, there were travel restrictions in those days for a while. I think we're going to see parallels of that. The problem is how much disruption do we get in the supply chain, and are the products going to be available?
Well, I guess that was the dovetail in, and it's hard to answer at this point because of the items that you had just mentioned. But would you see a corresponding increase in the live fire sector for sales to increase just across the board because people are going to be staying home potentially and cooking more at home?
Yeah, I mean, I monitor a lot of like Google search terms and kind of internet traffic and what people are interested in. And you're already kind of starting to see that a bit. Over the last weekend, there was some real strong upward trending towards, recipes and outdoor cooking information and, barbecue and that sort of stuff. So I think it's going to be, from that standpoint, I think we're going to see a lot more of that. Barbecue industry broadly, when you talk about the restaurants and the competitions, that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be a real tough situation. But weather the best we can.
All right, last question before I let you go, and always appreciate the time, Derrick. Who do you think gets eliminated next hour during the American Idol BBQ Central Show edition? Is it me? Is it John? Is it Doug? Or is it Jeff?
Whew. Boy, that's hard to say because I haven't heard any of you sing.
Thank God.
I'm tempted to say it's you, but that would be rude.
Not really. Talking. I mean, I don't think you're ever on the show because you're overly nice for any particular reason, right?
Well, yeah. I think John can sing. I have a sneaking impression that he might be able to pull this off.
All right.
So I'm going to have to flip a coin on the other two.
So it's either Doug or Jeff?
Yeah. I'm going to go with Doug just because his name's Doug.
All right. Doug, sorry, pal. By the way, that would be welcome news to Doug. Everybody's trying to get out of this as quickly as possible so they don't have to move on to the next month, of course. But nevertheless, in the meantime, you can read Derrick's stuff over at DerrickRiches.com, and you can see him here on the fourth Tuesday of the month in the 9:35 segment. Derrick, always appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
You got it. There he is, Derrick Riches, and we will see him next month in April, and we'll see how the market's doing at that point. Holy moly. He's right. I didn't even think about supply chain issues, so we're going to have to see how manufacturing continues, or if it continues. I can tell you right now that the waste management industry is in the tank. Tank! But you don't need to know about that. All right, we're back to wrap up the first hour. Don't forget American Idol BBQ Central Show edition coming up in the next hour. That's right, Doug. Derrick hates the name Doug, and you're going to be out. Now you're doubly ready to make it through to the next month. I know. All right, stick around. We'll be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
And speaking of it, this portion of the show being brought to you by Fireboard. You can monitor up to 6 different temperatures simultaneously. You can connect to Wi-Fi for cloud-based monitoring or connect to the Bluetooths. If you have Alexa or the Google Assistant, you're in luck because Fireboard is fully integrated with both. You find out more by visiting fireboard.com. Or you call 816-945-2232. That's 816-945-2232. And don't forget, they have the new texting, stories, and pictures that just came out in the new revision of the app. So very excited to give that a try. I'll download the new app to my phone as soon as we're done with the show here this evening, and then I can start doing it. I happen to have the last trip to the market. People say market, grocery store. Is it grocery or grocery? I don't know. This is what I'm asking you. But I did get a 9-pound pork butt. So I will be using Fireboard for that. Not because I'm worried about how I can do it by look, but I love using the tech when I have it, and that way I can take the pictures and upload the whole photo chain to my socials at BBQ Central Show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok /BBQ Central Show on Facebook. But I see what you guys are writing in the chat, too. I don't understand. And I agree, by the way. For some reason, it looks like I've colored it. God. Don't worry, Ricer is helping me out with getting hooked up with using one of my DSLRs as a video camera. Whatever, I don't know. I got some things on order, and it might help. It might not. I might look like I just dye my hair for the rest of the time until it goes gray and falls all the F out. We're back for the second hour. Stick around.
Hi, this is Austin Parsons, Pitmaster with Smoky Mountain Q in Nashville, Tennessee, and you are listening to the BBQ Central Show.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish! What?
He ate 2 feet or wiener.
Oh, listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
Welcome to the second hour of the BBQ Central Show. Social distancing at breakneck speeds. Corona-free barbecue talk for all of your special wants, needs, and or otherwise. Hit me up on the telly, 216-220-0966, or on the email, Greg at the BBQ Central Show. If you missed the first hour, you missed Ted Conrad talking about some of the new stuff. What? Also, you missed Derrick Riches, our fourth Tuesday of the month, one of our fourth Tuesday of the month regular guests, talking about HPBA, some supply chain issues that might slow down manufacturing and so forth. Podcast for the first hour will be up tomorrow. Thursday, we'll see the second hour, and I'll tell you about Friday here in a second. Don't forget, coming up on the show still is the what are we calling it? American Idol BBQ Central Show edition, where myself and Jeff Rice and Doug Scheiding and John Solberg will each be taking our hand at the mega classic smash hit by supergroup Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak. At some point in the 70s, I think that was released. It's a guitar-driven track, and we are going to give it our best efforts. Now, in advance, I will tell you that we are not going to do the full-on piss everybody off and make everybody tune out. We all sing live. No. We have sacrificed, but we have taken our sacrifice for your gain, where we have done an abridged version of the song. So you're not getting the same full-length song 4 times. That we would be here forever. But we have taken 2 verses and 2 choruses. So if you're familiar with the song, when they go, break out, that's where the song ends. There's a whole other verse and many other choruses after that. There's a long guitar break. Screw all that. But we're coming up with singing here in a minute. Before we get into that, we'll have some other discussions. But the American Idol BBQ Central Show edition is coming up, and it is for your entertainment only. Don't forget, you can follow me socially at BBQ Central Show on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok /BBQ Central Show on Facebook, where you can find a live internet feed. Coming up on the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less this Friday, I am happy to tell you that 117 episodes in, we take you back to March 23rd, 2010. So that is 10 years ago and just a few days. The ever-popular Barbecue Round Table will make an appearance this coming Friday. While I haven't done a round table in many years, for many reasons, I might add, a lot of people are always coming at me with, oh man, the best shows were the round table shows. Well, guess what? 10 years ago, you know what was really popular? Barbecue competitions were really popular. Do you know what not really? Do you know what not? Do you know what's not really popular right now? Barbecue competitions. If it's not popular, why would I put out for your consumption a competition barbecue roundtable, which is exactly what this was. So for those that have been emailing in asking about the competition roundtables, I'm feeding your beast this Friday, for crying out loud. So we will take you back to appearances by the likes of somebody called the Barbecue Pimp, Kyle Laval from the Slabs, Scott Key, pitmaster of Little Pigtown. I don't even know if he competes anymore. And sponsor of this show and the maker of Butcher Barbecue and Wild Seasoning products, David Bosket. That's how long we've been having conversations with David Bosket, at least 10 years on a semi-recurring basis. David comes on and talks about stuff in the barbecue and grilling industry. And back in March 23rd of 2010, he was 1/3 of the panel that talked competition pork butt roundtable back then. And as I always say, when you go back this length of, can you imagine that 10 years ago, I had already been doing the show for 2 years? That seemed like a long time. And then add 8 on top of that, 10 years. Now, the interesting part to all of these, when you, especially with the competition and the backyard roundtables, is if you have never heard one of these, it lets you wet your whistle, if you will. It will take a good 10-minute snapshot of the show, hopefully enticing you to go back and listen to the whole show, because there is a link in the show notes that'll take you back to the entire show. But what I like is to go back and listen to and see what were you doing at the end of March 2010, because typically the concept of the show was I was taking the previous year's top 3 category cooks and doing these roundtables with them. So we had the top 3 brisket cooks, top 3 chicken cooks, top 3 rib cooks, top 3 pork cooks. I don't recall off the top of my head if those were the 1, 2, and 3 pork cooks of what would have been a 2009 competition season for the KCBS, but they were really good at that point in 2010. So to hear what they were doing in 2010, now fast forward 10 years later, how much of that is still an application? Certainly they're using pork butt still. But what was the cooker of choice back in 2010? Were they wrapping? Were they injecting? What kind of rubs were they using? How were they cooking it? How were they serving it? How long were they holding it? Were they just cutting off money? But did anybody know what the hell money muscle was in 2010, for crying out loud? Always fun to go back and listen to 10 years ago and then apply it to current day and see what's happening. It's great. So that'll be in your podcast feed coming up on Friday for episode 117, and we thank John Solberg for continuing to put those together. Also, if you aren't subscribed to the podcast feed, you're missing the bonus content that I had mentioned in the first hour. This past Saturday, Sunday, and yesterday, Monday, I had released 3 bonus episodes into the podcast feed with Nick Solaris, Sam the Cooking Guy, and Sean Walchef from Cali Comfort Barbecue. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe to that. You'll have not only the replay tomorrow in the podcast feed, but you can go back and listen to 3 additional shows. So there you go. Now, I've been thinking about getting to this for a little while, and it's called The Runner's High. I'm not the guy that gets on social media and shows you that I cook a lot. I will take pictures of food and what I'm going to cook tonight. I think it's semi-inherent of me to keep my social media full of cooking stuff if I'm going to post. So I'm not going to post anything about my family or my kids or anything like that, because I don't want to do that. It's not my place to post about them on my social media, so I just have it for show stuff. So, yesterday I was cooking steak. I took some pictures of what it looked like rub and the raw steak. I could never get to the finish shot because I'm just eating it. But you will notice that a lot of people are really into showing how they're working out and how they're getting after it, getting fit, and all this other stuff. And for well over a year now, from the time we brought in the third cat, which would make 3 cats that I don't want in my house, by the way. But when we took in the third cat, well, this mother effer was getting up at 4:30 in the morning, and he would just sit there and beat at our bedroom door. And it wasn't like an infant where you just let it cry itself back to sleep. He was insistent, pounding. Let him in. This went on for like a couple months. And then January of last year, I said, I have had it. My wife was telling me I might have heart disease because of a history of the family on my side, and the cat won't let me sleep past 4:30. F this. I'm just going to get up and start running because I have treadmill, elliptical machine, some loose weights scattered around the basement area. So I started running. Well, fast forward a year later, every morning, 4 times a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm up, run a 5K. There's no cardiac benefit to running anything more than a 5K. So if you're running right now and you're just doing it for cardiac benefit, you're not training for anything distance-wise, don't run anything more than a 5K. You're fooling yourself. You're making yourself look like a fool. Hence the fooling yourself part. People talk about this runner's high. When the hell does the runner's high kick in? I've been running 4 times a week, 14 miles a week, whatever the hell the math is on 3.1 times 4. Sometimes 5 a week. I have never once experienced runner's high. I'm only experiencing runner's dread. Every freaking morning I hit that tread. So you can be damn sure that I'm not going to be videotaping me running if I'm not in a runner's high. I think that's a bunch of BS. And I'm running fast at this point. 7 minute, 20-second mile clips. There's no runner's high, just runner's regret for 23 minutes. Every single time. From the minute I get up till the minute I get off, I hate every second of it. No runner's high. No runner's reward. No anything positive. Just pain. All right. Embedded correspondence coming up next. And the American Idol BBQ Central Show edition. Guest judges have just made it into the house here, by the way. You're probably going to have to share microphones and stuff there. There's a headset there and a headset there. I don't know how many people were coming. Hey, let me talk to you quickly about Southside Market and Barbecue. Established in 1882, Southside is the oldest barbecue joint in Texas. They've been owned and operated by the same family for 3 generations. Famous for the original beef sausage. Coarse ground and a natural pork casing. Also, they have authentic Central Texas barbecue. All meats, including the prime briskets. Smoked low and slow for many hours over real Texas post oak wood. They ship nationwide via the online store, SouthsideMarket.com. And they ship fresh and smoked sausages nationwide. All shipped items vacuum sealed to ensure freshness and ease of preparation for the customer. Processed in that on-site USDA inspected facility. 2 restaurants to eat in if you want to eat in. Elgin, Texas since 1882. Bastrop, Texas since 2014. Grocery distribution through Texas and many surrounding states. Here's the best part of the whole damn thing. 10% off coupon code for online orders purchased when you go to SouthsideMarket.com when you're using code BBQ Central. All one word, lowercase, BBQ CENTRAL, BBQ Central. 10% off your first order, your 10th order, your 110th order when you go to SouthsideMarket.com. I know the guys are excited. I couldn't be more excited. The ladies are excited. There's a lot of excitement. Are you excited? I know I am. Everybody's excited. It's the American Idol BBQ Central Show edition coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Monthly visits from a killer hog, a cooking guy, a man named Meathead, the author of Barbecue Bible, a grill girl, a bristly barbecue journalist, and the male feasts of the barbecue world known as the Embedded Correspondents. Only found right here on the BBQ Central Show.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by... Where am I? CookingPellets.com. No. Pit Barrel Cookers. That's right. The most unbelievable outdoor cooking appliance ever. Currently available in 2 different sizes, a host of accessories as well. Whether you're a beginner or professional, it's definitely a cooker you want to add to the arsenal. No doubt about it. Visit pitbarrelcooker.com and tell them the BBQ Central Show has sent you. All right, it is the 4th Tuesday of the month, and you know what that means. We are rejoined by the group known as the barbecue malfeasance of the industry. The embedded correspondents, as they are loading in, it is John Solberg, Doug Scheiding, and Jeff Rice. Texas, Michigan, and Wisconsin, respectively. Gentlemen, appreciate you making time here. I know everybody's excited to get to the singing aspect of this, but we will temper excitement. This is what Bob Barker used to do best when he was host of The Price is Right. He would build excitement. He would build anticipation. So while I am teasing it, we will talk about a few other items here before we get to the singing. First things first, coronavirus 2020, and we'll start with the longest-running correspondent of the show, Doug Scheiding. What have you been doing to flatten the curve, Doug?
Well, a couple of things. Even before we started to try to flatten the curve, we were staying at home, working half time. Here they have the marketing slogan of "Stay home, stay safe," and so that, I guess that's better than sheltering in place. But that's what they're calling it here in San Antonio. Actually, it begins for us tonight, and so hopefully for the last week or week and a half, we've been one person in the office and trying to telecommute as much as possible. So that's what we've been doing here, just from a work standpoint. And then actually my wife works at a hospital, and she's a social worker, and they actually made it possible for her to start working at home for the next week or two as well. All right.
John, what are you doing to flatten the curve?
Well, as a longtime telecommuter, I've been flattening the curve for a long time.
That's right.
So just keeping doing what I'm doing until I'm not doing it anymore, which is soon. But just staying home, staying in, minimal trips out, limiting contact with my elderly parents, making their food drops remotely. Hey, it's right inside the back door. See you guys later. Staying away from everybody, and just washing my hands incessantly.
Ricer, flattening curve.
Well, number one, we actually loaded up a little bit extra on our groceries compared to what we usually do.
You weren't hoard buying like those assholes, were you?
No. Instead of buying 1 gallon of milk, you buy 2, so nothing crazy. But yesterday when I was in the Register's of Deeds office, I actually wore some black nitrile gloves. And everybody gave me some stares, but I'm like, hey, people pick their nose and wipe it on the keyboard. I don't care, but I don't need the corona. So that's kind of how it is. That's kind of what I'm doing. But remember, Greg, I live in Nowhereville. So I think it's just going to dissipate before it even gets into our town. At least I hope I do.
Yeah, you hope. All right. What's the biggest positive that has surfaced for you during this time, Jeff?
Is there really a positive? I mean, but
we have to look for silver linings. Otherwise, we're drifting amiss.
Well, I'm not traveling the state as much for my job, my regular day job. So I have been spending a little bit more time with the kids and messing with a new cooker that I got. So that's maybe a positive thing. The wife is still working. She works in healthcare. So, yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit more time with the boys because they're not in school. That's about it. Other than that, stinks.
John, silver linings?
Well, as the uncertainty of my career and my profession is unknown, I am getting ready to fulfill my destiny, whatever that is. The positive for me is whatever's next, it's going to be awesome, because I'm pretty sure what it is now, it won't be.
All right. That seems ominous to a certain degree. Doug, silver linings for you at all?
Well, like everybody else, I'm looking forward to actually cleaning out my freezer. My wife is very much looking forward to cleaning out some of the frozen meat that I've got in the freezer. So hopefully we can see the bottom in the next couple of weeks. And also I got reintroduced to my sexy home fitness trainer the rowing machine.
How about
so
that?
I've actually started using the rowing machine again since I can't go to the gym Monday through Thursday.
All right. I was just bitching about the runner's high. Are you a runner at all, Doug, or no?
No, I can't because of my torn meniscus. That's why I gave up tennis. But I hated running when I could run. So yeah, I don't like that.
All right. So when and we're merely speculating here, boys, so allow me to say that up front, but when do we think we might resume a normal life? John?
Man, I got my fingers crossed on August.
August? That's 5 months from now. Holy shit.
Well, what do you think? It's going to be longer? It's not going to be any sooner than that.
I agree with that.
It's like, but I think I'm cautiously optimistic at August.
Wow. Jeff, your thoughts on resuming normal life?
I'm going to kind of go in the middle of the summertime. I'm hoping that, summertime usually seems like that stuff goes away, but, there always is that reoccurrence problem. It could come back in the fall again. But really, are we ever going to get rid of this? I mean, somebody's going to come up with like the splats virus next, and it's like, I dirtied my panties, so let's get an oxygen mask out, So I don't know really if you look at it. I think this is going to be here for a while, bud. I really do.
All right, Doug, do you have any idea when we might resume a normal life?
Well, obviously, I'm the optimist, and this is the second time I've been an optimist today, which is not my usual mode of operandi. So I think that we can hopefully in 30 days, can we please get back to normal in 30 days? If we shut down everything like we're supposed to, we've hit the nuclear button, so hopefully it doesn't last on for too long.
All right, well, let me research that particular 30 days. No, it doesn't look like we'll be back to normal in 30 days. I did the research just then. Now, let me turn the tables here really quick, and we'll go to the ladies. Girls, when do you think that? Hold on. Let me go to the different screenshot here. Where do I want to go? Oh dear, I should have done a better job of this. Hold on.
We don't have to be on camera.
Sure you do. Everybody's got to be on camera. Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. When do you think that we're gonna be back in normal life?
It better be next week. May. I got plans. May.
This is the youth of America, gentlemen, that you're listening to.
May.
Marley, when do you think we'll be back?
End of May.
End of May?
End of May.
All right. Bob?
I don't know.
Okay, good thought there. Good thought. And Maddie, what do you think?
I don't know.
All right, great.
No one can say for sure.
Okay, well, I'm going to put all you guys back on mute, adding nothing to the conversation as usual. All right, guys, so let's transition out. We've talked a little coronavirus, which is fun, and we'll see how that pans out, of course. There is a missing component that we have had for many years, as the embedded correspondent segment is, and that is one Steve Ray. He is no longer here. He's out. As I had mentioned a couple weeks ago, and I had gotten some emails directly to me saying, what's the real reason that Steve left? The reason that you gave us was a little ubiquitous, a little, maybe nebulous or not a lot of detail. And I said, well, there's a reason for that, because I was just telling you what I was told. I wasn't given a lot of detail or anything. So what can I tell you? Which leads to a great embedded correspondence question, of course, and we will run around the dais. We'll start with John Solberg. John, why do you think Steve left the show?
I think Steve is a front runner, and I think he was way in front of us on flattening the curve. I think he got way out in front of it and created his social distancing, 2-3 weeks before we did.
Really?
I think he's like the Nostradamus of the ECs, or former EC.
He saw it coming, and that was it. Had to get out. All right. Jeff Reiser, you're the new blood here. Well, why do you think Steve left the show?
Well, I'm disappointed that he left the show because he's the guy that kind of found me and introduced me to you fellas. But I really think he watched too many of my videos and sees that I drink Corona all the time. And we all know that Steve struggles a little bit with technology. And I think he was worried that I might sneeze in the camera lens or something. So he's like, I'm out of here, man.
He was afraid to catch the Corona from Jeff Riches. I see.
Exactly.
Very good. All right, Doug, you a thought on why Steve left the show?
Yeah, I have a couple. I think first and foremost, he did not want to do the EC jailbreak idol.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
That was it.
Wow.
That was it. Other things, I think he had some personal stuff going on, and truthfully, it's hard to be the lead dog when he wanted to concentrate on his own YouTube channel, and he wants to be the next Greg Rempe. So it's hard to be the lead dog, and he needed to go off and do his own thing and concentrate on his own YouTube.
All right.
That's my thought.
All right. So there you go. We're getting ready. Guys, I can't tell you how long I've been waiting to say. Now, hold on a second. Let me do this real quick. Let me go. Hold on. Go ahead.
Dad.
What?
I have friends who are waiting to listen.
Yeah.
They don't want to wait anymore. Are we gonna do this soon?
Now hold on a goddamn second.
Actually, I know why Steve left.
Maddie, you know why Steve
I
left?
know.
All right, let's hear it. Hold on. Oh, wait. Breaking news. Go ahead.
Mom did not like him.
That's not why.
Oh my God.
That's not why. All right, here we go. I've always wanted to. So now you guys sit there for a second, please, and get ready to start judging. Here we go.
Watching.
I've always wanted to say this. Hold on, let me transition here real quick. I got a lot of things happening here. I've always wanted to say this. Oh my God, we're very excited. We're starting to build a little tension, a little excitement. I want to welcome everybody to American Idol BBQ Central Show edition. Here we go! Oh my God, we're so excited. Many people asking, how is this going to work? And I'm here to tell you all of the rules and regulations right now because I'm the host and I'm going to be singing. So 4 of us are going to be singing our own rendition of the mega hit Jailbreak by Thin Lizzy, Hall of Fame nominated. They've all been recorded. These are not live singing, so don't worry about that. Now, that being said, these tracks are not doctored in any way. It's each one of us singing. Voting will be done over the next 6 days. Monday at midnight Eastern, the voting will close. Top 3 vote getters will move on to next month. So all I need for you to do, if you're listening, is vote for all of us. And you have to put them in the order that you like the best. For instance, if you like Jeff the most, you put him first. If you like John the second most, you put him second, so on and so forth. But if you're going to submit a vote, you have to submit all of us so we can get a proper count. So to do it in order of who you like the best, rank down from there. Next month, top 3 vote getters will move on. And as a reward to making it to round 2, each singer will get to choose his song, and we'll continue on singing in a pre-recorded way. And then, final month, 2 months from now, if you can believe it, it's the longest-running game show ever. The top 2 vote getters will record a duet together, which will be played. And then, for the American public, we'll sing live on the show, if you can believe. How about that? Love it. We'll be singing live on the show. So, anybody has any questions, email me. I'm not going to go back through all the rules again, but remember, don't instant chat is fine to get an instant idea of how you think people have done. However, I need you to vote. So you're going to have to send in your votes through email, greg@thebbqcentralshow.com. And then we'll be off and running. Top 3 move on to next month, where we'll be picking our own songs. Now, through a very random way of figuring out how this is going to do, we'll, at my now concern, open up the mics to the ladies again. Ladies, who do you want to hear first? Jeff, John, Doug, or me?
Jeff.
You want to hear Jeff first, all right? Here we go. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Here we go. Jeff Rice coming up first. Stand by. Here he is with his rendition of Jailbreak.
Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in this town. See me and the boys, we don't like it, so we're getting up and going down. Hiding low, looking right to left. If you see us come, I think it's best to move away. Do you hear what I say from under my breath? Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in the town. Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak, so don't you be around. Don't you be around now, sugar. Tonight there's gonna be trouble. Some of us won't survive. See, the boys and me, we mean business, busting out dead or alive. I can hear the hound dogs on my trail. All hell breaks loose, alarm sirens wail. Like a game, if you lose, go to jail. Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in the town. Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak, so don't you be around. Tonight there's gonna be trouble I'm gonna find myself in. Tonight there's gonna be trouble, so woman, stay with a friend. Oh yeah, you know it's safer there, 'cause I'm back, Ricer, back to BBQ Central Show. Break out.
All right. Jeff, fabulous job. Very good. I could see the pain in your eyes as that song was playing. All right. Let me get to my menus here. And the most important thing is judge reaction. So we go to the panel of expert judges. We go to youngest judge first, Marley Rempe. Marley, your thoughts on Jeff's performance?
It was pretty good.
Are you sure?
Yes, it's pretty good. Can't wait to hear the rest.
Okay, we go to second expert judge for instant feedback. We go to Madison. Your thought on Jeff's performance on the smash hit Thin Lizzy's Jailbreak?
There's room for improvement.
There's room for improvement. All right. Wow, it's very Simon Cowell of you. And finally, we go to star judge in the middle, Bobby Rempe, for her assessment of Jeff Ricer's Jailbreak.
Yes, Greg.
Go ahead and give us your opinion.
Now, I don't know what the original song sounds like, so I can't compare.
As a judge, you would never want to say that, so let's start again.
No, I'm going to say that.
Well, what do you think? I mean, how did it sound? Let's go. I didn't bring you in here to do nothing.
Let me finish talking, please.
Insolent.
I thought that you could improve. Some of the words sounded, it was like more talking than singing. And, I don't know, some...
Wow.
Yeah, I just think you can...
All right. Thank you for the judges. Good night. Do you want to fire back at the judges, Jeff? Anything you want to say?
No, I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, I take that criticism well, so I think they did fine.
Something that you can apply to next month if America votes you through.
Actually study the words before I decide to sit down and record something.
Ah, okay. That's what you pulled out of that. Very good. All right, we're going to get to the remainder of the shows, and we'll be back right after we talk about Green Mountain Grills, of course. Some of the best pellet cookers out there on the market today. You have a couple different lines to choose from, the Choice line and the Prime line. Prime line is the newer version, a little bit more robust. 2 internal meat probes, peek-in windows on the cooking chamber and the pellet hopper. Now, if you don't want to spend a little bit of extra cash on the Prime, you can go Choice. Choice does not have Wi-Fi capability. So if that doesn't mean anything to you, Choice might be your pick of poison, if you will. They also have the ultra-portable Daniel Boone. Sorry, that's called a Davy Crockett. Daniel Boone is the midsize. Davy Crockett can go in the back of most trucks, vans, and SUVs. It can plug in right in your 12-volt plug into your car. And that's where 12-volt technology was born, by the way, right in that cooker. And you're not sacrificing a tremendous amount of capacity for the convenience of taking it along with you. Now, if you want something for the patio, Jim Bowie or Daniel Boone are the ones you want to check out. Also, those two can accommodate the pizza oven. And as the expert judges would tell you, the pizza oven insert on the Green Mountain Grill is absolutely fun and exciting. We all love to turn out our pizzas. It's great. They have a number of accessories over at greenmountaingrills.com, so make sure that you check out the website and visit a dealer if you want to buy one of these cookers. They are a dealer only, so you got to go visit the store that is near you. They will educate you on exactly the cooker and how to run it and all that good stuff, and then you can take it home and have success right out of the box. It's Green Mountain Grills, longtime sponsor of this show and proud sponsor of the American Idol BBQ Central Show edition. We're back with more American Idol BBQ Central Show edition right after this.
Celebrating over 10 years of prolific and unparalleled live fire barbecue and grilling talk. And yes, it's still being done from Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the BBQ Central Show.
And this portion of the show being brought to you by Smithfield. Grilling season is here now more than ever. Pitmasters like Chris Lilly, Darren Worth, Ernest Cervantes, and Childs Cridlin are using Smithfield. Mouth-watering flavor, no artificial ingredients, Smithfield fresh pork. Quite simply, some of the finest pork money can buy. Trusted by the choice of world champion pitmasters like Chris Lilly and Darren Worth and Ernest Cervantes. Smithfield.com is the place to go. All right, guys, as I can only imagine, bated breath is abound as we get ready to listen to another rendition of Thin Lizzy's Jailbreak. We go to the judges very quickly. Girls, who would you like to hear? John is a unanimous choice for next up, so we continue to get ready here. John, anything you want to say to the studio audience before we let it rip, as it were?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. All right, girls, so take that into account as we get ready to judge John's rendition of Jailbreak. Here we go.
Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in this town. See, me and the boys, we don't like it. So we're getting up and going down. Hiding low, looking right to left. If he sees us coming, I think it's best to move away. Do you hear what I say from under my breath? Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in the town. Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak, so don't you be around. Don't you be around. Tonight there's gonna be trouble. Some of us won't survive. See, me and the boys mean business. Busting out dead or alive. I can hear the hound dogs on my trail. All hell breaks loose, alarms and sirens wail. Like the game, if you lose, go to jail. Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in the town. Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak, so don't you be around. Tonight there's gonna be trouble I'm gonna find myself in. Tonight there's gonna be trouble, so woman, stay with a friend. You know it's safer. The boys are back in town. Break out!
All right, there it is. John Solberg's edition of Jailbreak. Wow, wait. Good job, John, there. And, of course, we now go to the expert panel of judges for their review, perhaps under protest at this point. But we will go to Marley first for her expert opinion. John Solberg's rendition of Thin Lizzy. What'd you think, Mark?
It sounded like he was just speaking and then they put music over it.
All right, so what would you say if he makes it to next month? Some advice for him to perhaps give you a more favorable review.
Try and actually sing it, maybe.
All right, brutal words from the 8th grader. We go to Maddie Rempe now for a John Solberg review. Maddie, what do you think?
Pretty much the same as what Marley said. We're just kind of talking and
you want singing is what you're saying.
You missed the beat.
You missed the beat. All right, a little
Kind
bit
of
the
rushed
beat.
at one point. Kind of sounds like country.
All right, sounds
I'm
like
not a
country.
fan of country.
All right. These are expert reviews. Expert reviews, please, gentlemen, please. And we go to Bobby for her review of John Solberg's Thin Lizzy Jailbreak.
Okay, so I agree with the two of them. It did sound like you were talking and that you were offbeat a little bit. Next time, I want you to get into the song, you know? Like, I really want to feel excited when I'm listening to the music and you're just, like, talking, like, monotone. I was really waiting for that moment and I just didn't get it.
Just didn't get it. All right. There you go. These are, let's say, harsh criticisms from the expert panel of judges, but that's all right. John, go ahead and anything you'd like to fire back to the judges.
No, I appreciate their input, and I will take that to the table, and I will make sure I connect with you next month when I'm back.
We'll see how America votes, of course. And here's how you do that. You send in an email, greg@thebbqcentralshow.com, and you rank first, second, third, and fourth. Your favorite is top, and then you rank accordingly below that. And the top 3 vote getters will move on and sing next month in April. All right, we open the mics back up. Who do you want to hear next, ladies?
Who is the other person?
Doug is the next.
Doug.
Or me, of course.
Doug.
All right, Doug is up next. That means the host will be going last this evening. And this is Doug's rendition of Jailbreak. Jug, anything you want to say before we get going here?
No, let's rock it.
All right, we will rock it. Here's Doug.
Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in this town. See me and the boys, we don't like it, so we're getting up and going down. Hiding low, looking right to left. If you see us coming, I think it's best to move away. Do you hear what I say? From underneath my breath. Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in the town. Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak, so don't you be around. Don't you be around. That's why Steve's not around. He didn't want to do this. Bark, bark. Tonight is gonna be trouble. Some of us won't survive. See the boys and me mean business, busting out dead or alive. I can hear the hound dogs on my trail, and hell breaks loose, and alarms and sirens wail. Like the game, if you lose, go to jail. Again, tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in the town. Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak, so don't you be around. Tonight there's gonna be trouble, I'm gonna find myself in. Tonight there's gonna be trouble, so woman stay with a friend. Not Smokey. You know it's safer. Not with Smokey. Why are we doing this? This is a BBQ Central Show. Just saying. Break out!
All right, there he is. Doug with his rendition of Jailbreak. Wow. Dropping in some ad-libs there. I think there was a Smokey reference. There was a Steve quit because he didn't want to sing reference. Something about going to jail again reference. A lot of things being dropped around on that song. We go to the expert panel of judges. All right. Bobby is requesting to go first on this feedback. All right, let's have it, Bob.
All right. So, I think you were better than the first two. You sang more and they talked, but you were very quiet. The music was louder, and I think you were really holding back. And I feel like there's more potential there to work with, and you just didn't show it today.
I mean, is there a chance that actually there is no more potential there?
No,
like the potential has been tapped.
I think there's some.
Okay.
I just think you need to be louder and
louder.
Yeah, the music just kind of drowned you out. Yeah, I think you can do better.
All right, Marley, your expert opinion.
You sounded very into it compared to the other two, but you were very choppy.
Very choppy. All right, Maddie, your final review of Doug before we get to me.
He was better than the first two.
Put the mic up closer to your face.
He was.
Talk with authority. Let's go, goddammit.
Sorry, let me get into the camera. He was. He was better than the first two, but he was still offbeat at some points. Too quiet, couldn't really hear him, but he could be better.
But he could be better. All right. Yeah. Well, there's some promise going on there. I see that. If I'm taking a quick review of the experts' opinions, Doug, they like the singing. The bed maybe was a little hot, and they think that there is potential there. So what would you like to answer back to the judge?
Thank you for your comments. Obviously a diamond in the rough, and perhaps next time we'll give it a little more energy. So I appreciate the encouragement. Thank you very much. Love to you.
All right. So we've run out of time, which means no time for me, unfortunately. That's a shame, but I'm just kidding, of course. So we will now do my rendition, the final rendition of Jailbreak. We've probably run this one right into the ground. Stand by as we go to my version of Jailbreak. Here we go.
Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in this town. To me and the boys, we don't like it, so we're getting up and going down. High and low, looking right to left. If you see us coming, I think that it's best to move away. Do you hear what I say from under my breath? Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in the town. Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak, so don't you be around. Don't you be around. trouble. Some of us won't survive. See, me and the boys, we mean business. Busting out dead or alive. I can hear the hound dogs on my trail. All hell breaks loose along with sirens wail. Like a game, if you lose, go to jail. Tonight is gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in the town. Tonight is gonna be a jailbreak, so don't you be around. Tonight is gonna be trouble. I'm gonna find myself in. Tonight is gonna be a jailbreak, so woman, stay with a friend. Break out!
All right, there it is. Final version of the evening. And of course, the most painful part of this process, we will have to go to the judges for their expert opinion. Let me get them in screen here and open up the mics. We'll start with Marley right off the bat.
Actually,
I'm
no,
sorry.
yeah, I will be going
Sorry,
first.
Maddie, move down so we can get you in the shot here. Jeez Louise. Well, if everybody was sitting where they should be.
There's
What
one
are you
chair.
talking about?
There's
That's all
one
right.
chair.
That's fine. All right,
Anyway,
Maddie, your
back
thoughts.
to the horrible thing I just listened to.
Oh.
It was actually the worst. And it sounded like you just put auto-tune over the entire thing.
What?
You really overdid it. And I did not like it at all. Thank you.
All right. Wow. Holy crap. We go to Marley. Remember, you guys are on camera, so as you make your faces, we can all see you. Marley, your thoughts?
Are you sure it was you? I think that was not you. That was definitely someone else. That was not my father. He cannot sing like that. But
What?
Wait. All right. Bobby, your thoughts?
Yes, great. Now, I do see potential in you.
Okay. You see,
No. You were a little pitchy. Some parts, yeah. I could feel some emotion, but I definitely thought there could have been more. It did sound like there was auto-tune a little bit, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's just these.
I don't know if it's fair for you to say there might be auto-tune and then in the next sentence say, but you're not sure. I mean, you either have to know or you don't.
Okay, well, I don't, because maybe it's headphones, you know?
Wow.
But yeah, I don't know. You have room for improvement.
Wow. All right. Room for improvement. There you go.
Mhm.
All right. So we thank the judges this evening, and they can vacate as they see fit. Take the headphones off first. They're very expensive. My good. Thank you, judges. All right. So we open it up to the floor here for final comments. Doug, your thought on the overall execution of this evening's performance?
Well, it was as bad and better than I thought. But Greg, with the edit, you were fantastic, I would say, and your daughters crushed you.
They did crush me. I mean, I was surprised.
Crowd.
Could you imagine?
Unbelievable.
Get out of here, you damn kids. That's what I say. John, your thoughts over the process tonight?
I think it worked swimmingly. I think your use of long haul reverb, not auto tune, was extremely well executed.
Oh,
by the
nice.
way. Because that's exactly what I was like. Man, I wish if I was trying to turn the hall down a little bit, but really well done, Greg. I love Doug. You look fantastic. And Ricer, you bail it. I hope I make it to the next round, but I'm feeling you three are moving forward.
All right. And Ricer, your thoughts on this evening?
Well, hey, I'm a video guy and you guys are audio, so, well, at least two of you. Great job. I thought, yeah, there was some hall in there. I could hear a little hall. I'll have to remember that next time, you know. So, but hey, great job. It was a lot of fun, and the judges, I think they were fair. I think maybe a little hard on you, Greg, but the rest of us, I think they were fair.
Yeah, wow, no kidding, a little hard on me, but that's all right. I live with them, so they have to. It's like when you're the coaches, when you're the dad coach, you always seem to take it out a little bit more on your kid than everybody else.
Next time.
Doug, you know your mic's on, right? Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't talk to your producer. You're on the show, for crying out loud. Let's go. All right, so I think this was really good. I thought, Jeff, you did a great job. I thought John did a good job. Doug, I think, has a little bit of advantage here, and not necessarily because his production was great. What I thought was he might get, the look, no doubt about it. I mean, he's got the whole Phil look. He's got the hat. He's got the glasses, all that stuff, which is right on point. But I think the fact that he sounded like he was in a room with a transistor radio up to a microphone, getting that kind of a bed feel to it. I think there might be some kind, I don't want to say sympathy vote, but I think that there's going to be a rudimentary production sympathy vote that's going to be coming in. And I know of the three of you, everybody was hoping to be eliminated this round so they don't have to move on. And I have to tell you, I think all four of us are in big trouble. All of us cannot be eliminated, and this thing is over this month. Three of us will be singing again next month. So here's what I need from all of you that are listening, either live tonight or in podcast fashion. You have to send me an email to vote, and then in the subject line, just put American Idol or BBQ Central Show American Idol or whatever you want to put. And then rank from first to fourth in your order of who you think was best, and then rank accordingly. We will tally those votes, and you have from now until next Monday at midnight, where the voting will close. We will quickly tabulate, and then in next show's second hour, we'll announce who is going to move on to the April version of BBQ Central Show's American Idol. So once again, send me the email, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. And all kidding aside here, gang, I mean, putting yourself out like this, taking the risk of singing. I know a lot of us are not used to singing. I think all of us are not used to singing. And just giving it a whirl and throwing it up against the wall. That's the best part, and I thank everybody for doing that. So, and also, I do want to thank Jeff for allowing me to hijack his YouTube airwaves and put this show out over the Dead Broke Barbecue. It did seem to work this time, Jeff, so certainly I appreciate that. Anything to promote as I let you go? Doug?
Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Rogue Cookers.
All right, John, promoting?
Catch me outside on Fridays for the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less in the BBQ Central Show Really Big Show podcast feed.
All right, and Jeff, anything to promote before we head up?
Yeah, come out and see me on Instagram and check out my YouTube channel, Dead Broke Barbecue, and leave a comment. Let me know you stopped in.
All right.
Appreciate it.
There they are, the embedded correspondents. There they go. Thanks, guys. And we will see them again in April. We will see all of them in April, by the way. But only three of us.
Whole packers.
What did I do?
Full rack.
Now, hold on a damn minute. I got a thing I got to do here. Here we go. All of them will be back. We might actually have an extra embedded correspondent. So 4 correspondents and me, but 3 of us will be singing. Who that 3 will be, yet to be seen. In the meantime, subscribe to The Smoke Sheet, a weekly newsletter that keeps you in the know on everything happening in the barbecue world, including top news, events, recipes, and more, started by Ryan Cooper and Sean Ludwig. Both of them traveling around the country, probably not now, and finding the best barbecue stories and then reporting on it. You can sign up at bbqnewsletter.com, a great all-in-one resource covering the live fire industry. All right, we're back to wrap up the show. Stick around.
Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
All right, once again, thanks to the embedded correspondents for dropping their versions of Jailbreak. We did the first ever, the debut episode of American Idol BBQ Central Show edition, and I certainly thank them for putting themselves out there like that. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get the hell out. All the way back in the first hour, Ted Conrad from Fireboard, fireboard.com. New release on the app, taking pictures and documenting, then sending it up to social. That's going to be great. You can download the new app right now and get the update instantaneously or wait for the rollout. We also talked with Derrick Riches, derrickriches.com, about HPBA 2020. And then in the second hour, the embedded correspondents sang their way through it. The smash hit Jailbreak by monster supergroup and I believe Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominated Thin Lizzy. Next month, the three get to pick their own. Don't forget to vote. Vote, vote. Email me, Greg at the BBQ Central Show, with your favorites in order. Greg, John, Doug, or Jeff in the order you see fit. Big show planned for you next week, September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.